day.
Yeah, I think this was one of those instances where you see a young quarterback that's still getting his legs under him, especially with the new coaching staff and this new offense. He had a lot of pressure, especially after last week, where he had a career game, looked great against the Cowboys, but on the road with everything that's going up against him. Obviously, I think there's a lot of parts of the offense that struggled to sustain success, and I think you can go back to that third down play where it was near the red zone where they had a bad snap that goes down 20 yards, and there's a lot of stuff that wasn't his fault that kind of threw him out of rhythm, but there were a lot of throws like you talk about, Jim mentioned it too, where his interception, where that pass got batted up, and that was a really great play by Maxx Crosby, but we don't really know where he was going with that football, and I think that's something that he's going to break down after the game. But I think specifically you look to other plays too. There was a moment where he threw across his body, and I mean, like, you talk about no-nos in the NFL, that's one of the main no-nos. Just don't
tell Cam Ward that.
I mean, that was a Brett Favre-esque type play. I'm like, oh, that looks familiar, but that's one of those things where you just don't do, and we're starting to see that in real time. But I also saw a coach that really tried his best to get something going when nothing was working. You talk about the fake flea flicker. You talk about Ben Johnson's own
flea flicker with a face mask on a running back.
That was tough. That was
tough.
tough.
Not have that on my bingo card.
That was tough. That was not on the bingo card, Uno card, whatever other roulette you want to do.
Flicker with a face mask on a running back.
I also didn't have the Bears edition of the stumble bum going on too.
Yeah, that didn't work. That didn't work.
That did not work, by the way.
But this is a coach that tried to go right into his bag to try to get Caleb Williams something, to try to make something work. Last year it was the actual flea flicker. This week it was Caleb. Hey, in the second half, let's get in rhythm. Let's stay in rhythm, because once he was within rhythm, you saw him sustain drives, score touchdowns. Again, 4 straight weeks with a touchdown to Rome Odunze.
Yep.
You're starting to see these things click, and I think with Caleb, was it a perfect game? By far, no. But I think we're starting to see the success being sustained when the offense can keep out of the murky penalties and put themselves behind the sticks. And I think that was impressive to me, especially when you give him the ball and say, go win the game. He did.
And to that point, I think that is what we want to see out of our quarterback. In the second half of this game, you saw a quarterback who still went through multiple penalties on that same drive, right? Still ended up going through Maxx Crosby living in his kitchen, essentially, right? And then all of a sudden, you see Caleb go, I'm just going to make a play that puts us in a position to go down here and get points. I'm going to extend this drive. I'm going to make even the pass to Cole Kmet, right? I understand Ben Johnson doesn't want Caleb Williams to play Superman. But there's times when your number 1 overall pick has to be Superman. And when you got Lex Luthor standing on the other side with all the answers, sometimes you need a little Superman. And I think in the second half of this game, you saw Caleb Williams go play a little Superman.
I mean, I keep going back to the one thing that his high school head coach told me the day before the Bears, this was the day before the Bears talked to him, or he took the podium at the NFL Combine, which is that if you have Caleb Williams on your team, you have a chance to win. How many times have we seen that last year when they had a chance? How many times did it actually come through? This is the year where it's starting to come through.